It is my pleasure to bring to the stage the Mandarins.
Speck of dust on your coffee cup. I can't see the light. I can't see the light. Breathe to be, they try to fend for me. Escape the night, escape the night. And I wonder as the world goes down, when answers to the call will go right through. And every time you say goodbye, I think to myself, could this be it for me and you? So why should I be bothered? I'll try to keep my promise, but make it too easy to love me, love me, love me. Try to see who you're meant to be. Are you afraid of light? Are you afraid of light? Speak easy and depend on me. Relieve their minds, oh relieve their minds. So I wonder as the world goes down, when answers to the call will go right through. And every time you say goodbye, I think to myself, could this be it for me and you? So why should I be bothered? I'll try to keep my promise, but make it too easy to love me, love me, love me. So why should I be bothered? I'll try to keep my promise, but make it too easy to love me, love me, love me.
just stare out my window, dreaming of what could be. And if I'd end up happy, I would pray. Try not to reach out, but when I try to speak out, felt like no one could hear me. Wanted to belong here, but something felt so wrong here. So I prayed I could break away. I'll spread my wings and I'll learn how to fly. I'll do what it takes till I touch the sky. And I'll make a wish, take a chance, make a change, and break away. Out of the darkness and into the sun. But I won't forget the ones that I love. I'll take a risk, take a chance, make a change, and break away. Wanna feel the warm breeze, sleep under a palm tree, feel the rush of the ocean. Get on board a fast train, travel on a jet plane far away, and break away. I'll spread my wings and I'll learn how to fly. I'll do what it takes till I touch the sky. I'll make a wish, take a chance, make a change, and break away. Out of the darkness and into the sun. But I won't forget the ones that I love. I'll take a risk, take a chance, make a change, and break away. Buildings with 100 floors, spring around revolving doors. Maybe I don't know where they'll take me, but gotta keep moving on, moving on. Fly away, break away. I'll spread my wings and I'll learn how to fly. Though it's not easy to tell you goodbye, I'll take a risk, take a chance, make a change, and break away. Out of the darkness and into the sun. But I won't forget the place I come from. I'll take a risk, take a chance, make a change, and break away. Break away. Break away.
How about another round of applause for the Mandarins? You know, there's a unique perspective that you have when you've been here all afternoon and seeing some of our history that you're all about to experience this evening, and then to see them come up and show us the future. It really is a kind of a special perspective. So thank you once again to the Mandarins. Good evening. Let me offer a warm welcome to our Syracuse University Alumni Award Celebration, the highlight of Orange Central Homecoming and Reunion Weekend. To start our program this evening, I would like to acknowledge with respect the Onondaga Nation firekeepers of the Haudenosaunee, the indigenous people on whose ancestral land Syracuse University now stands. I'm Don McPherson, proud member of the class of 1987. I bring them everywhere. That's almost true. And it's my pleasure to be your master of ceremonies. And it's in the script here that I'm supposed to remind you all who do math, because my professors from my days will tell you I didn't, that this is my 35th reunion. And just in case you're wondering whether or not I feel old, I don't. And I will tell you that when the football team wins on Saturday, tomorrow night, I find myself pointing at everyone. I'm like Arsenio Hall. When they win, it will be the first time the team has been 5-0 since 1987, since I was here. So it is a big accomplishment. So we are thrilled to be back this year in this tremendous space, the Daniel and Gail Danello Building, home to the National Veterans Resource Center. Thank you, Dean Michael Haney Vice Chancellor Michael Haney for being our host here this evening once again. Tonight we celebrate what it means to be Orange, and we come together to honor so many deserving alumni. To the Syracuse University trustees who are spending the evening with us, thank you. Your leadership is most appreciated and very much valued. I also want to thank the Awards Committee of the Syracuse University Alumni Association Board for selecting tonight's honorees. Many of our past award recipients are seated among you this evening. Please join me in a round of applause for those awardees. I also want to give special welcome to all of our reunion classes, in particular members of the classes of 1972 and 1962, who are celebrating their 50th and 60th reunions respectively. Yes, give it up. A huge thank you goes out to the reunion committees for those two classes, and congratulations to all our reunion classes. Let's also recognize the Syracuse University Alumni Association board members, alumni club leaders, and young alumni who make up the Generation Orange Leadership Council for being here with us this evening. Thank you all for being tremendous Orange ambassadors. And finally, I'd like to extend a special welcome to all of the current students in the room, including our students, my buddy, my stage partner, the Student Association President, David Bruin, who has joined us on stage and will help present our awards. We hope the evening serve as a reminder to all of you that once you are Orange, you are forever Orange. It is now my great pleasure to introduce a man who has become not just a tremendous leader and a mentor, but also someone who I admire deeply, is our Chancellor of Syracuse University's 12th Chancellor and President, Ken Severud.
Thank you, Don, and thank you for doing this. Don and I have done this a couple times together, and this is the point where I comment on his sneakers, and where I also say, Don, 35 years since you graduated. So, thank you. You all have no idea all the ways Don quietly helps this university and its students, and so I'm so grateful to you for this as well. So, and I joined the acknowledgement you just heard. I really, the Office of Alumni Engagement, the Awards Committee of Syracuse University Alumni Association worked so hard on tonight's celebration, and I thank them. And also thank all the families and friends of the award recipients. Many of them came a long way to be here tonight. These are our most prestigious alumni awards, and we're so glad you were all able to join us. And to all the alumni here today for Orange Central, so glad you're here to celebrate Orange Central and see the energy, excitement, the passion of our current students and of our community. We're here, though, especially to honor 7 outstanding alumni tonight. Their time at Syracuse spans 60 years. They studied in 7 different schools and colleges. They earned degrees in sport management and marketing, English, advertising, journalism, international relations, law. On paper, it doesn't seem maybe that they have much in common, but they share some really important traits. Every one of them is Orange to the core. They are trailblazers in their chosen field and leaders among their peers. They each took their experience and their education at Syracuse University and became so much more. And one more thing they all have in common, they continue to give back to our university. They give of their time and their resources, and most importantly, they create opportunities for the students who come after them. And so we want to recognize them specially tonight and make you all part of that. And just to be specific, Jamal Salmon, leader in the emerging field of entertainment data analytics at Paramount Pictures. His work informs billion-dollar marketing decisions for major movies, including this summer's blockbuster hit, Top Gun Maverick. His service to and leadership of the Multicultural Advancement Advisory Board is opening doors for students of color in the entertainment industry. Army veteran Mel Stith, his connections to Syracuse run deep, two-time alumnus, both his MBA and his PhD from Syracuse, was of course dean of the Martin J. Whitman School of Management until his retirement. His acumen was critical in piloting a first-of-its-kind veteran military-focused entrepreneurship program. He saw the potential and saw Mike Haney. We sit in this building today in part due to Mel's support and vision more than 15 years ago and his dedication to veterans ever since. Carol Leland is a natural-born leader. She's devoted her life to teaching and coaching and building leadership across the globe. She's especially focused on empowering women to reach their full potential. She's a strong proponent of experiential learning and has supported many Syracuse University programs that give students hand-on experience. She served as chair of the College of Arts and Science Advisory Board, where her advocacy for the liberal arts was really unmatched. Robin Armstrong knew he wanted to be a cartoonist since he was 3 years old. He fell in love with the Peanuts comic strip, and today is one of the most widely syndicated cartoonists in America. His work appears in more than 400 newspapers across the country, and he stays connected to Syracuse through the College of Visual and Performing Arts Advisory Council. And he says his greatest honor is cheering people each day. Joanna Geraghty is a two-time alumna of Syracuse University, master's degree from the Maxwell School, JD from the College of Law, today president and chief operating officer of JetBlue, and the youngest woman in history to lead a U.S. airline. She's been very busy lately. Joanna recently advised our graduating law students to always strive to be the most reasonable person in the room, and grateful for that advice for all of us. Stacey Mindich has lived a life as a powerful storyteller, first as a successful magazine editor, and then her passion for the theater led her into a second career as a Tony, Grammy, and Olivier award-winning Broadway producer. Her hit musical, Dear Heaven Hansen, evolved from a lunch she had with its young creators. Throughout her career, she's encouraged, mentored, and funded the creative work of students and new artists. And finally, Bob Miron. His visionary leadership transformed the cable television industry. He was chairman, CEO of Advanced Newhouse Communications until his retirement. Bob has been a steadfast supporter of Syracuse for more than 60 years and a trustee for more than 20. He founded and was the first chair of our board's athletics committee. His transformative gifts have benefited the university in so many ways, including in the libraries, in the Dome, in athletics, in the Newhouse School, in the College of Arts and Sciences. All these places and sometimes spaces are better because of Bob's generosity with his family. So all of tonight's recipients shine out as orange. They're talented and tenacious, ambitious, accomplished, inspiring, generous, and what I most want to say is you make us all proud to be orange. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Chancellor Severud. I'd now like to welcome Alumni Association Board President Ryan McNaughton, a member of the class of 1996 and Syracuse University trustee, to join me on the stage. Here comes Ryan.
Good evening. Thank you, Don. Please let the record show that I may have reached out to Don a few weeks ago about how to dress. Chancellor, I'm sorry, I probably should have contacted you as well.
I didn't get the memo.
I mean, I'm never going to be as cool as Don, but for one night I can tell my family I tried. Folks, it's the honor of a lifetime to lead the Syracuse University Alumni Association, serve on the Board of Trustees, and be on this stage tonight. Last year, it's your reunion this year, last year I celebrated my 25th reunion. This year, you're going to bet that I'm going to be wearing my 1990s attire to tomorrow evening's celebration on the quad, and I hope my fellow 90s grads will join me at this exciting new event. We're going to fill the quad with flannel and a lot of that 90s era angst. You know, so much has changed in recent years, but what has remained the same, at least for me, is the passion that our alumni base has for its alma mater. In my position, I'm blessed. I get to see it every day. I see it most when I'm back here on campus for homecoming reunion weekend. You see, we may leave this university and we may leave this region, but they never, ever leave us. You will see many examples tonight of alumni who embody what it means to be Orange. It is a true honor to be in your presence, and I congratulate every single one of you. I also want to extend a very special thank you to my fellow Alumni Association Board of Directors, especially the Awards Committee. As you can see, it is no easy task going through the many worthy nominees each and every year, much less choosing the recipients. I am grateful for all of your service to our alma mater. I sincerely thank you all for being here and the honor to be on this stage. I hope you enjoy the show. Go Orange, loyal be thy sons and daughters.
Thank you, Ryan. At this time, I'd like to invite to the stage Andrew Regalado, President of the Generation Orange Leadership Council and member of the class of 2020. Andrew will announce this evening's Generation Orange Award. Andrew?
Well, thank you, Don. I'm honored to be part of this evening's awards ceremony. We proudly refer to our graduates of the last 10 years as Generation Orange. The Generation Orange Award is presented to a member of this group who, really made an impact on campus while here, and beyond immediately after they graduated. So without further ado, in recognition of his leadership as a founding member of Syracuse University's Multicultural Advancement Advisory Council, and his commitment to all things Orange from your home in the West Coast, go West Coast, we are proud to present Jamal Salmon with the 2022 Generation Orange Award. Jamal is a Senior Vice President of Global Data Analytics at Paramount Pictures. He studied sport management at Syracuse University and has worked at ESPN, Google, Netflix, and Bloomberg. Wow. What an inspiration for all the students and alumni here. Please join me on the stage to accept your award, Jamal.
They said this was heavy. They were not lying. Wanted to take a moment. I took some notes because I wanted to make sure that I didn't forget anything, and I will, be brief. Thank you so much to the entire university. This is the part where I start naming people and I forget people and people get upset. But what I'll say, the chancellor, the faculty, staff, the Generation Orange Committee, the Alumni Association, and now I've started doing the listing thing where I've probably forgotten someone. But what I want to say is being a part of the Multicultural Advancement Group and community has been the most inspiring part of the last few years of my life. I've told this to you personally Rachel, but the work you do is absolutely incredible. It means so much to so many people, and I want to take a moment and thank you for that. So my original plan was I was going to tell everyone I was a perfect student, 4.0, all of those things. Then I heard earlier it might be recorded, so let's just say I graduated. But in all seriousness, I did not think that being on the stage this moment was in the cards when I graduated 10 years ago. The Generation Orange Award is a 10-year award, so I just snuck in right in the door. But I made it ultimately, and I graduated ultimately because of all of the support that I had. I walked onto the campus with one family, incredible parents. My mom, Rita Hare, she's the most amazing mother in the world, such an inspiring sister and family. And what I found on this campus was an incredibly inspiring community, and I just added to that family. Amazing faculty, lifelong friends, and that's actually what pushed me to the point of being able to, one, graduate and be able to do all the things that I've done in the last few years. Obviously, after leaving campus, I met my wife, Amber. She gets full credit for everything I achieved after that day. But in all seriousness, one thing that I've learned in all the work that I've done is talent is absolutely everywhere. What separates the real outcomes are opportunity and support. And the work that we do as a community and all that everyone gives to the community to allow for that support to so many students, especially students of color, through the multicultural advancement community is so incredibly important. And it's the thing that inspires me every day. Every opportunity that I get, I try to make sure. I'm not going to attribute who said this because I, don't want to give credit to the wrong person. But I heard once that, it's okay to be first, but just make sure you're not last. And so many opportunities that I've had, I've been fortunate enough to be the first, and everything I do every day is to just make sure that I'm not the last. So thank you all. Congratulations to all the award winners. It's really fantastic to be back on campus. Thank you so much.
That's great. Congratulations, Jamal. That's awesome. At this time, I'd like to invite Vice Chancellor Michael Haney to the stage to announce this evening's Military Veteran Award.
Thanks, Don. And I'm thrilled to add my welcome to all of you. Welcome to Syracuse University's National Veterans Resource Center, housed in a building that was made possible and named for former Arents Award recipient Daniel Daniello and his wife Gail Daniello. For the past several years, I've had the honor of introducing the university's Military and Veteran Alumni Award, and it is an award that is presented to a graduate who has distinguished themselves both through their service while wearing the nation's military uniform and also across a life and a career following military service. And each year I've had the privilege to introduce the award. I've been humbled by the service and the citizenship and the accomplishments of our Military and Veteran Alumni Award recipients. At the same time, I think this year I do have to acknowledge this year the privilege I have tonight is a unique and special one that is personal to me. That's because this year's honoree, Dr. Melvin Stith, actually gave me my first academic job here at Syracuse University when I left the military back in 2006. As the Dean of the Whitman School of Management, Mel certainly took a chance on me, and in fact, I would come to learn later that Mel had a long history of taking a chance on people like me, faculty and students who would arrive at Syracuse University from places and on pathways that were, let's just say, unconventional. And that's probably because Mel's own pathway to Syracuse University was unconventional. I won't share Mel's story because he might tell it, but I won't share Mel's story of a Syracuse University admissions telegram arriving in the jungles of Vietnam or about the helicopter ride that followed, but those details by themselves are enough to illustrate that Mel's journey to this place did not take a traditional route. What I will share, and the Chancellor alluded to this as well, that what we've collectively accomplished over the past 15 years here at Syracuse University in service to the nation's veterans and their families got its start with Mel Stith. It got its start because Mel Stith said yes. He said yes to a new assistant professor who had an idea and maybe a half-baked plan to launch one small program for veterans. And Mel's subsequent support of that one small program grew into something much more, including setting the conditions for this building and for an institute that today has provided programs and services and resources to literally hundreds of thousands of veterans and their families over the course of the past decade. And that is why I am beyond proud that Syracuse University has selected one of my personal heroes, Dr. Mel Stith, to receive the 2022 Military Veteran Alumni Award. So congratulations, Mel. Please come up.
Well, good evening and welcome, Orange. I didn't get the shoe deal. I think you're glad that I didn't. But this is a special evening to stand before you in this wonderful building and to bring a few marks on behalf of the veterans. So Chancellor Severroot, my dear friend Haney, family and friends, and all gathered this evening. First, congratulations to this year's exceptional class of Arents winners. You have reached the pinnacle of your profession. Your alma mater salutes you. Well, Vice Chancellor Haney, it's hard calling him Vice Chancellor. I usually call him Mike, but we're kind of in a crowd this evening where I should call him Vice Chancellor. That's pretty fancy. But thanks for this introduction. So, let me tell you a little story. When Mike arrived at Syracuse and came to my office and we talked, and Mike had an offer from the Fisher School at Ohio State University. And I said, excuse my French, no damn way he is going to the Fisher School. So the statute of limitations over, Chancellor. When I told the chair of that department, when he gets on that plane, you'll have a letter from me. I gave him an offer that day, hadn't cleared it with anybody. But I knew the potential of one Michael J. Haney, and he has not disappointed Syracuse University or the veterans in any way. So Mike, thank you. And more importantly, thanks for having the courage to come to my office and the foresight when I was Dean of Whitman to pitch a novel idea that no one in the country has thought about. And as a Vietnam veteran, you know the story of how we were treated when we came home. So I want to thank you for that. And to pitch this novel idea about how we should take advantage of our great entrepreneurship program, one of the leading top 5s in the country, and help veterans. A novel idea, right? And I said, Mike, I'm a veteran, straight from Vietnam when I came here, of course. And he said, I want this program to be for veterans who were disabled during their service to this country. I said, a great idea. Mike had 25 PowerPoints, and I said, I don't want to see any of that stuff. Let's just make this happen. And of course, he did. And as he was walking out, he said, oh, but by the way, I wanted to be free for everybody. Can you raise the money? So I knew our alums and what veterans meant to this great university. So I totally embraced that. And given Syracuse's history with veterans, we knew that we could launch that program and procure the funds. And not only procure the funds for the initial program, but to sustain this program almost into eternity. The impact of this program to the veterans community and all of Syracuse, I think, has exceeded our wildest imagination. Mike told you, Syracuse is a very special place to me. And since I arrived on campus in 1972, Mike was right, straight from the jungles of Vietnam. You know, we didn't have cell phones and all this modern stuff. We had those ticker tapes and the wires that would ring up. And I was in military intelligence, I was a captain, and we were in the field down near Cambodia because we were gathering intelligence, and got a teletype. Captain Stith, you have a full scholarship to Syracuse University, and we have to get you out of here fast if you want it. We can send a helicopter in tomorrow morning to pick you up if you want to go. Do I want to go? What do you think I want to do? They sent the helicopter in, picked me up, got me to Paris. I'm probably the only veteran that paid their way home from Vietnam to Norfolk, Virginia to be with my wife, Patricia, of 52 years. They got me to Paris, I flew home commercial to get home to get to Syracuse. 3 weeks later, reassigned me to Fort Eustis, got out the military, standing in Slocum Hall. Some of us remember the great Slocum Hall where the business school was at Fort Whitman, and in a class with Dr. Vedder teaching advanced statistics. I said, hell, the jungles of Vietnam were so bad after all, you know? I could handle this, you know? But seriously, and the reason that was important, I'll tell you that I had never been on this campus till I came to enroll in graduate school. I was a Southerner, grew up in the South. So this was my first chance to be outside the military in this major environment. And I can tell you, from that day to this one, there was never a day that I didn't feel that I belonged on this campus. So I thank the professors like Dave Wildman, Clint Tankersley, L. Richard Audiker. They encouraged me. And I was getting ready to leave, got my MBA, and they said, you should stay here. I was being recruited by Miller's and by Procter and all of those firms because of my background of being a little older. And they said, you should stay and get a PhD. I said, well, what is that? I don't know, PhD. I'm going to corporate America and either work on Tide or drink some beer at Miller's or do something and have a good time. They said, no, you should stay. And it's the best decision that I made to stay. Because Syracuse has always been an institution that valued veterans. They've always been an institution that valued inclusion and diversity. This is nothing new to this great university. So as I close, I urge all of us to encourage and embrace veterans. And when possible, simply do something to enrich their lives in acts of kindness and words of encouragement. Thank you very much.
You know, Vice Chancellor Haney made the point that Dean Stith, and I still call him Dean Stith because that's how I remember you, said he took a chance on him. And it made me think of, pardon me, what this place is, this place being Syracuse University. And I don't think he took a chance on you. I think he saw the brilliance in you. And I think we say that very often when young people want to admire or recognize that someone saw the brightness in them. And it's hard to think that you took a chance when you look at what y'all did. Look at this place. Y'all did this. That seems quite prophetic to me, not just taking a chance. So thank you all. Thank you very much for being the example you are. And as our award show continues, I'd like to introduce Christine Abbott, who has her master's degree in math education from the School of Education. Christine is the new chair of the Syracuse University Alumni Association Board's Awards Committee. That committee works so diligently to select tonight's honorees. Please join me in welcoming Christine to the stage.
Thank you, Don, my favorite Syracuse quarterback. Just don't tell Donovan McNabb that. Good evening, everyone. It's an honor to join you this evening. Before I announce our Eggers Award winner, I want to acknowledge Jason Yalley, who preceded me as chair of the awards committee and led the group who selected tonight's incredible honorees. Remember, these honorees are nominated by alumni like all of you. So please think about the incredible alumni that you know and nominate them. You'll hear more about the nomination process early in the new year. Now, on to our awardee. Tonight, I have the honor of introducing the most deserving alumna with the Melvin A. Eggers Senior Alumni Award. Established more than 3 decades ago by Chancellor Emeritus William P. Tolley, the award was created out of his deep respect for Chancellor Eggers. It honors alumni whose leadership and service to society has been joined with loyalty and service to Syracuse University, and is presented to those alumni who have graduated more than 50 years ago from Syracuse University. Tonight's winner is Dr. Carol A. Leland, a member of the class of 1956. She was student government president during her time at Syracuse University and served for more than a decade on the College of Arts and Sciences Advisory Board. Her work in executive coaching and leadership consulting has spanned the globe, and she is co-author of Women of Influence, Women of Vision, which is a highly acclaimed analysis of women's leadership in a changing society. In short, she is a force. In honor of her steadfast commitment to Syracuse University, I am pleased to announce Dr. Carol A. Leland for the Eggers Award. Due to personal extenuating circumstances, Dr. Leland was not able to join us in person tonight, but she has recorded a video to accept her award.
My sincere thanks to you, Chancellor Severud, and to all those who've made this award in my brief presence possible. I regret very much not being among you, but one of the many values enriched by my education at Syracuse was the priority of caring and supporting family, and that is what I'm doing at this moment. As a student body president, the day I graduated in 1956, I was among those on the dais at the Chancellor's Luncheon. I was seated between the Honorable Sam Rayburn, then the Speaker of the House, and his Republican predecessor, the Honorable Joe Martin, 2 of the giants of American government, 2 exemplars of the bipartisanship we revered in those days. And the truth of that great honor, to the embarrassment of my parents sitting nearby, I sat wiping tear-filled eyes, focused more on my grief and leaving my alma mater than the conversation of a lifetime. I could not imagine a life beyond that campus and the experiences I had there. Of course, I did leave, but Syracuse University never left me. And to this day, I've carried with me core values so fundamental to the Syracuse experience: service, community, commitment to democratic ideals, respect for humanity and individual differences. Yes, I've had the opportunity of advanced studies at other distinguished universities, but those challenges were met because of 4 years at Syracuse. I had a liberal education, a concept too frequently lost in our present-day frenzy to master a complex and competitive society. I studied with great professors like Mary Marshall, Sanford Meach, Malcolm McLaren. And I studied with war veterans, welcomed and honored as students as they are to this day. I competed in campus politics, developing confidence and energy for university service. I sang in Hendricks Chapel Choir with one of the country's great musical masters, Arthur Poyster. And I developed a modicum of humility, like the night I stayed out beyond curfew, and the Dean of Women's immediate comment was, "I never would have thought this of you." Awards provoke a host of reactions. First, the ego-driven pleasure of recognition. But it's quickly followed by what I call reluctant acceptance, the reality that so many others should or could have been the recipients of your good fortune. And I would be remiss not to emphasize the people who've put me in the momentary spotlight. Deans Catherine Newton and Karen Rutland, who invited my participation on the Board of Visitors, now the Advisory Board of the College of Arts and Sciences, and the faculty and staff of the college who are bringing creative and exceptional learning experiences to students, drawn here for the excellence the college represents. And particularly, I owe much to the board colleagues I shared so many years with as we worked to enable the college to achieve its lofty goals. I'm here because of all those people, and I thank them. Finally, awards carry with them a certain responsibility to continue to exemplify what the award is all about and the reason it was established. I hope I can continue to honor that responsibility and to encourage others to realize that Syracuse University, in so many different ways, contributed to who we have become. And it is indeed a gift that keeps on giving. Thank you so much for this special honor.
Wow, that's really special. It's very clear from that video just how much Syracuse University means to Dr. Leland, and hope she can make it back to campus sometime in the near future. It is now time to bestow Syracuse University's highest alumni honor on 4 most deserving recipients. The Arents Award is named for George Arents, a successful manufacturer who served on the university's Board of Trustees for 3 decades. A fund he endowed in 1939 allows us to recognize Syracuse University alumni for their extraordinary achievements. The physical award was created for the university by Peter Yanowin, a member of the class of 1969. Let the presentation begin.
It's the love that I'm attached to, frankly. The love I got when I was a child. When I would get a piece of paper and my mom would see me draw the Flintstones. It reminds me of my mom saying, "Wow, son, you're gonna become a famous cartoonist one day. Look at you. Look at how you can just draw this thing." I'm in love with this process. I'm in love with the tactile feeling of being a cartoonist. Syracuse was difficult and challenging because I was in a personal crisis. I'm from a single mom, died Armstrong, very determined woman, but she was diagnosed with cancer when I was a senior in high school, and it took her life. I was on a very urgent mission, I call it that, to succeed at Syracuse, to succeed at life. But Syracuse has a bigger mission than just making a kid feel at home. They're in the business of preparing you to excel, to be at the top of the industry that you enter into. That's the way I took it.
I first met Robb when he was art director of the Daily Orange. When you would open up the Daily Orange, you would see Hector, and it was on a full page of other student-drawn comics. But Hector was, it was out of place because it was so good. Everybody else, we were all like junior varsity, but Robb's strip was like, it was professional.
This is Hector. Hector was autobiographical work. I was trying to document my feelings about being a student at Syracuse. And because I was so driven to become a cartoonist someday, I thought of my time at the Daily Orange as this gift, this tremendous gift.
Robb has a tremendous why. When he does what he does, it's actually for not just the world, but it's also for the people that brought him into this world who are no longer here. Robb has a talent for taking everything that he notices that goes on in the world and having it come out in these characters, but he does it in a way that's easily recognizable for everybody that looks at the cartoon.
Jumpstart has tapped into something going on in this world with the police and with black men, and things I had touched on a long time ago, in the 1980s, are now front and center. Jumpstart's been running every day since 1989. It would not be a reality without Syracuse. My entire career would not be a reality without Syracuse University. Right now, I'm involved with a Peanuts worldwide collaboration called the Armstrong Project. It's designed to bring the next creative voices forward from places that might not have the opportunity. My personal success comes meaningless without showing other people the way in, because that's where we're going to see biggest change in the industry. I'm Robb Armstrong. I'm a syndicated cartoonist. I do Jumpstart, and I am forever orange.
Dean Michael Tick, will you please present your honoree?
Chancellor Severud, it is our great honor to present Robb Armstrong, class of 1985, with the 2022 George Arents Award for Excellence in Visual Arts.
Thank you so much, Chancellor Severud. Thank you so much, Dean Michael Tick. Thank you for the esteemed committee who made this decision. I'm humbled by it. I don't feel worthy of it. This is the biggest night of my life. I'm so happy that you all are here. Even my daughter is here with her husband, Nick. Tess Armstrong is right there. She's now Tess Somerville, because that's Nick Somerville next to her. But like some friends from back when I was a student here, Monique is here. Monique Williams Wright. Monique Wright Williams. I'm nervous, give me a break. There's so many people I want to thank and stuff that it would just eat up too much time, but without Crystal Armstrong, my wife is, could you stand up actually for a second? This is Crystal Armstrong, my wife. She has done yeoman's work, and I did everything I could do to mess that up. She organized a vacation for us, and we were in Europe and everything. It was wonderful. She did an amazing job. I didn't really get involved with it. I just sort of started leaving things in Europe, like my shoes. These were shipped in from Paris. Where are your shoes, honey? I don't know. I don't know where my shoes are. Where's your cell phone? I don't know. Yeah. Actually, a pickpocket took my cell phone in Paris. Everything I could do to mess up the vacation. You guys, that video really did say it all, and I don't want to gild a lily, as they say. It's just beautifully done. It's very impressive, and I don't want to get too emotional up here, but Syracuse University really did come to my rescue. It really did. Like I just can't thank Syracuse University enough. My dreams have come true. I mean, this comic strip I'm doing, Jumpstart, is being developed into a sitcom at CBS right now. I'm working on a huge project that I can't even talk about, but it's another thing. I've already talked about it, actually, and my wife heard me talking about it and said, "What are you doing? What about the NDA that you signed? Are you out of your mind?" So lots of different things. Like, there are so many reasons to get sappy and weepy up here, but I'm not sappy or weepy. I'm joyful. I'm full of glee and purpose, and I'm so thrilled to be an alum. And I love wearing my tattered Syracuse shirts around the house. I'm proud. I talk about Syracuse all the time because when I was here, my mother was very sick. When I was unpacking my bags, I was repacking them for her funeral. And when I had to return to this campus as a 19-year-old, essentially orphaned, there were people who came along with this package I never saw coming. I mean, I wish everyone who was a part of that process could be here, but people like Isaac H. Clothier is not here tonight because he's not here anymore. But he was in my life for 40 years. He promised my mom, when she was diagnosed, I will make sure that Robin finishes Syracuse. The next 4 years, I'll watch over him. He was a stranger to me. I didn't know him. He stayed in my life for 40 years until he died last October. His wife is still around. She's fading, her memory. But I can't thank them enough. Like, they just made sure that I didn't drop out or quit or anything. They just made sure I had a Christmas meal. I'm so grateful to them. I wish they could be here, but time and circumstance doesn't allow everyone to celebrate everything with you. But I just want to send a thank you out to them. And another family who's not here, Mary Howard Herdig. These are people I didn't know. My mother was friends with them. And when she began to fail, her health began to fail, they said, we're going to make sure Robin makes it through Syracuse. And they helped me find, Syracuse cost $40,000 back then. And I bet it costs a lot more now. And they knew that and said, we're going to find you some money, some scholarship money, and they did. They just held fundraisers in their house. Mary and Howard Hurdick, man, if they could be here. And Howard would take me to games, Sixers games. I'm from Philadelphia, you know, I would go to these games and stuff. But when I got back to the campus, there was no time for games. I didn't see Syracuse football games. Don, I'm sorry about that, man. I saw you there. I saw you on the Quiet one time. I was like, that's the guy from the thing. And I was like, wow, there he is. I was so busy at the Daily Orange, you guys. I was so busy, I just was there. I was sleeping. I was practically sleeping there. Me and Stacey, you're gonna hear from her too. And she was in the office next to me. We were there all the time. When I wasn't doing my academic thing, I was at the Daily Orange. That newspaper experience led directly to my becoming a successful cartoonist today. And I drove by the old building that I used to be sleeping at and everything. I drove by there yesterday, man, and well, it's gone. But there was a patch of grass there, and I just said, man, but the whole campus is different. Everything is different. I was like, wow, you know. Here it is, September 30th, no snow. I can't recognize the place. But certain landmarks are here. Thank God they didn't touch certain buildings. Varsity Pizza is the only building that no one touched. I poured my heart and soul into my experience here, and it has paid off incredibly. And I'm not talking about just financially or career things. My friends take care of me. I mean, this trip to Paris, I just sponged off some guy across the hall from me when I was living in Sadler. And he's got a big house in Paris now. I was like, wow, this is nice. We stopped in Cape Cod on the way to Paris, and we stayed I sponged off another friend, my friend Sue Lebovitz, gorgeous place, lots of nice places. My friends, my experiences, they just keep growing. Professor Camuso, thank you for that, by the way. I don't know if you guys know Professor Camuso sitting over there. I had a chance to speak at his classroom. And just beautiful, man. The kids are great. I had a great experience. I'm not going to just drone on and on and on. But I love you all, too. I'm forever orange. Thank you.
Being orange to me means being a servant leader. It means putting others in front of you. It means that I'm focused on rolling my sleeves up every day to try to ensure that we deliver a great JetBlue experience for our customers and our crew members have a long and healthy career here. We recognize as part of this global community that we're in, we all play a role in making our customers' lives better, one person at a time, one flight at a time, one day at a time. I was drawn to Syracuse University because of the variety of programs it offered. I was interested in attending law school, but also wanted to obtain a joint degree. I went to a small liberal arts undergrad, and going to Syracuse, I was able to participate, not actually play, but watch some exciting sports, and Syracuse absolutely was a great blend of a higher education, law school, a master's degree, but also getting to have a pretty good time while we attain those degrees. What Syracuse Law School provided for me was not just a strong legal education, but how you apply that education in practice. And I think Syracuse has the perfect blend of theory along with practical application. I also went on to get my master's in international relations. And when I graduated from law school, I was really focused on how do I find a career that combines the two of those degrees. And one of the areas that allows you to do that is actually aviation law. And so when I first graduated, I started at a firm practicing aviation law, and that was the start of my career and interest in all things aviation.
Joanna, if I were to describe her in one word, it would be driven. Nothing gets in our way, and she has an amazing drive. And it's just everything she touches, she wants to make sure it's perfect. Must be that legal training from Syracuse. She always wants to make sure that she's trying to think around the corners. Her caring in taking care of JetBlue, its crew members, it's just an internal drive, and she always looks to do one step better than the time before.
The proudest accomplishment in my career is the approach that JetBlue took during COVID. Our frontline crew members, in the face of extremely trying situations, not knowing how people caught COVID, not knowing if they would catch it serving customers, and having to fly and keep the nation's economy on its feet. And they inspired me every step of the way to show up for work every day with my focus on ensuring that they were safe, our customers were safe, and our crew members had jobs.
Joanna's delivery as a leader is she always puts other people first. She may be knee-deep in whatever has to get done, probably neck-deep in whatever has to get done. But if there is a crew member that walks by, another leader that walks by, she stops and makes the time for that individual.
The proudest moment I have is in our 22 years at JetBlue, we have never furloughed a single crew member. And if you know anything about the industry, you know how significant that distinction is, and the importance of ensuring that our front line feel taken care of, empowered, that they feel ready to serve and ready to support. It's our job to make their jobs a little bit easier every single day. My name is Joanna Geraghty, President and Chief Operating Officer of JetBlue, and I am forever orange.
Vice Dean Keith Bybee, please introduce your honoree.
Chancellor Severud, it is our great honor to present Joanna Geraghty, graduate class of 1997, with the 2022 George Arents Award for Excellence in Business Leadership.
We were thinking there might not be a lot of room on this shelf with all these awards down here. So we've been navigating through a little bit of a hurricane over the last several days, so my speech is on the Sheraton paper from the hotel, so I apologize for that. Thank you, Chancellor Severud, Dean Boyce, Vice Dean Bybee, and thank you, Dr. Stith and Vice Chancellor Haney, for your service to this country. I am so honored to receive this award tonight because, frankly, I never imagined the path Syracuse paved for me would lead me to this stage tonight. I have a feeling many of the fellow honorees probably feel very much the same way. When I first enrolled in the International Relations program at the Maxwell School and the law program at the law school, I did so because the world was an amazing laboratory in which I might learn something about cultural differences and how to navigate them, but also to study elements common across countries that might be deployed to enhance what was common to us all and that might enable us to overcome our differences that at times seem intractable. Our law school here gave me the framework of the intrinsic value of the rule of law and the premium that it puts on predictability and inspiring confidence that what will come in the future will have some semblance, some touchstone in all that has come before. And I cannot imagine anywhere where these two intellectual desires come together in a more consistent profession than bringing people together in the miracle of air travel, not to mention air travel at JetBlue. What Syracuse gave me was a framework and a path to make that desire to serve people, to bring them together, and to enhance our understanding of differences so that we can recognize that ultimately the ties that bind us do, in every sense, outnumber those that separate us. A road that Syracuse paved so beautifully for me, and one that I continue to be so proud to walk today. Thank you for this lifelong award, memories, great friends, a few of whom are actually here tonight, and of course, the great basketball. I am beyond grateful for the kindness and for the gifts that Syracuse has given to me. Thank you.
All my life, I've been looking for a great story to tell. Not feeling tied to any one medium, but how do I tell it and who tells it with me? Even if it's just in a conversation and learning how to draw someone out. What is the story I want to hear? Looking at the audience and they're listening, they're following the journey, and I'm watching them do that. That is the best thing. I had wanted to be a journalist since I was a little girl. Used to do a family newspaper. I'm an only child, so the circulation was only 3. Going to Newhouse at Syracuse University was terribly important to me. I developed as a writer there pretty much from the minute I arrived.
When I first met Stacey, she clearly demonstrated an ability to understand people, get to the heart of a story, and then succeeded putting her fingerprints on the Daily Orange.
We were the first students from Syracuse who received the Newsday internship. And from there, I was able to hop over to the Long Island section of the New York Times. I had many jobs in magazines, from writer to senior editor. And through it all, I was in touch with these wonderful professors who would be there to catch me when there was a week where I didn't have an assignment, and the most meaningful to me was a magazine professor by the name of Bill Glavin. To honor him, I created this trip bringing seniors to New York City every year that still goes on.
She's provided an opportunity for Syracuse students to come down and find that same sort of networking opportunity that she was given. And that is a gift that will keep on giving for people.
After shifting into a theater career, my job as a producer was very, very similar to my job as a magazine editor, because at its core, I just love a good idea.
She's passionate about the stories she's telling and the people that are telling them, and that's where Dear Evan Hansen came about, was that she just decided to take a chance, and it turned into one of the most significant musicals of all time.
She has absolutely set the bar for what it means to lead, to create a family, to take care of people.
She made me feel really welcome into this big, giant world of Broadway and theater, and I could not be more grateful for that.
Stacey has taken what we've given her and passed it forward, as we say, and to see her at the top and the light that she shines for others to follow. It's really a nice thing.
My greatest accomplishment has just been the collaborations I've had, being in the newsrooms when people won their Pulitzers, and in theater, being surrounded by a company that has so much energy and performs every night because the show truly must go on. And to be a small part of making some of this happen is the joy of my life, the joy of my career. I'm Stacey Mindich. I'm a writer and a producer, and I am forever orange.
Dean Mark Lodato, please introduce your honoree.
Chancellor Syverud, it is our great honor to present Stacey Mindich, class of 1986, with the 2022 George Arents Award for Excellence in Theatrical Production.
Thank you, Dean Lodato. Thank you, Chancellor Severud. Thank you, beloved Syracuse University, and congratulations to my extraordinary fellow honorees. In 1982, a curly-haired teenager, an only child from Long Island, arrived for freshman year at Day Hall, 110 steps above the Syracuse University quad. The steps were rather daunting. My new roommate, Beverly, was rather daunting. She arrived late the first day from Dubai, the United Arab Emirates, holding a rolled-up poster of Chuck and Di and a confession. She'd never before seen snow. But I digress. Also that day, the wise old sophomores of Day 9 gleefully shared news of the Hall of Language's legendary haunting. Daunting, indeed. Things were off to a rocky start. But a few days later, and perhaps 1,000 steps later, my first ever journalism professor, Yolanda Wright, gave me the fortitude to go on and be happy. Everything is a story, she said, and that simple statement has informed my life from SU to the New York Times, from Town and Country magazine to the Broadway stage, from motherhood and marriage to friendship. My career has been focused on finding great stories, stories to write, stories to tell, or stories to guide others in writing. But the skills to develop that keen sixth sense were chiseled and sharpened here in Syracuse. In fact, the sheer wonder of Beverly from Dubai's first Syracuse snowfall became material for several of my first published essays. My sense of wonder and humor developed in Day and Watson halls, where living in a co-ed environment after growing up without siblings taught me things I cannot tell you in polite company. I learned leadership at the Daily Orange as its features editor. My passion for creating theater was fueled by the play reviews I wrote and the access I had to the inner workings of Syracuse stage. My ability to deal with deadlines, both for print and in life, was born at the DO and the Syracuse Post-Standard. But perhaps most of all, I learned about kindness and generosity from the magazine department's Newhouse Mafia, alumni who literally helped me find my first jobs out of college, and thus my place in New York City, and really in my life. Of all my memories, and all the pride and joy I have taken in my career, being part of that network has served me so well and brought me so much joy. I accept this award on behalf of the extraordinary group of journalists that SU turns out every year, and also for my 93-year-old dad, who is quite the storyteller himself. Thank you.
When you grow a company from nothing to something as large as we did, you really never have a vision that you're going to make it that way. But you really put one step in front of the other, and you grow it as the opportunities and as life moves on. In 1986, I received a call that Discovery was going bankrupt. I went to dinner that night with somebody from Discovery Channel, and I drew a business plan on a napkin.
Bob, on the back of a napkin, laid out a plan where, aside from MTV and CNN and Nickelodeon, that there could be this educational, entertaining service called Discovery. And he went back to Cy and Donald Newhouse, and he said, I believe in this. And if we can get a couple of cable operators to go along with me, I think we can make a business out of this. Discovery Now is the most distributed cable program business in the world. It reaches over 1 billion people. And it did everything Bob thought it was going to do when he wrote that on the back of the napkin.
As we sit today, Discovery purchased Warner Media, which includes HBO, Warner Brothers, CNN, Turner Broadcasting. Discovery is in approximately 200 countries around the world.
I often think, because of how lucky I was to get that call from Bob Miron 18 years ago to come run Discovery, and how it's changed and enhanced my life, and my relationship with Bob has really changed my life. Where would I be and where would Discovery be without Bob Miron? And I don't think there would be a Discovery.
Diane and I feel that it's important to give back, and we're lucky enough to be able to give back, and it helps the students grow and help build the school into what it is today.
Bob Miron is one of the most generous, most loyal, most caring persons that I have ever met. He has given so much of his time and his resources and his energy to Syracuse University over so many years that I really can't think of anyone who deserves this award more than he does.
My name is Bob Miron. I graduated in 1959, and I am forever orange.
Director of Athletics, John Wildhack, will you please introduce your honoree?
Chancellor Severud, it is our distinct and privileged honor to present Robert Miron, class of 1959, with the 2022 George Arents Award for Excellence in Cable Television.
It'll stay there. Chancellor Don. Thank you, John, for those kind words. Before I start, my daughter, Naomi reminded me of some of my earlier thoughts. She said, "Dad, remember what you always said. People will not remember what you said, only for how long you talked." And so I thought about that as I prepared my remarks tonight. I want to congratulate the other winners, Mel, Jamal, and Arents Award winners, Robb, Joanna, and Stacey. Also, I want to thank Mary Cotter for the kind words on the video. You saw on the video some of the details of my career, so I need not repeat anything further. It started a long time ago, back in the 1950s. And the reason for my selecting Syracuse University was really to work while I went to school. I was in a hurry to graduate and start my career. Youth. Syracuse University became much more important in life as the years went by. Thinking about it, my living in Syracuse certainly has been an added bonus. It was easy. Athletics were important to me. I was coxswain of the crew back in the late 1950s. They grabbed me as I was enrolling. I fit the size and the weight description perfectly. And later, when I moved back to Syracuse, I joined the varsity club and began to follow Syracuse athletics closely. That was my early connection, and it blossomed into a lot more. Making Newhouse 3 reality, remodeling Newhouse 2, were projects that I was proud to participate in. Syracuse University is now a major part of my life, and my wife Diane has not only put up with it, but supported it. She now sits on the library advisory board, and we have become supporters of the library. My children, Naomi, Steve, and Lisa, have also been supporters and bleed orange. And to show how orange I've become, my closet today is filled with the orange. Shirts, ties, jackets, pins, lots of pins. I do want to say I'm thrilled to be the recipient of the George Arents Award. It is something that I've thought about as I've attended previous events. It's an honor, and I'm thrilled to accept the award. Thank you.
Thank you, Bob. It's hard not to come up here and comment after every recipient, because those of you who have seen me do this before, I just have a story about everybody. And Coach Mack really admired Bob Miron and someone that he brought around to our team so many times. So it's just an honor to see him being recognized this evening, along with all of our award winners. I said this at the beginning of the evening, and I'll say it again, that it's both humbling and very prideful. People ask me all the time why I love Syracuse University so much and why I come here. And I tend to walk around this campus late at night, because as a student athlete, I never saw this campus late at night. Or excuse me, during the day, so I would only see it. and so I was walking around campus not too long ago, and there was a deer in front of the Hall of Languages, and it was just this magical, I felt like I was in this magical place. And so nights like tonight, when I said at the very beginning, you see the Mandarins perform, and then you see our history just sort of in words and stories, just that comes to life, everything that happens here. And so it is a humbling experience to be able to be a part of this evening and just soak it all in. So at this time, I would like to bring to the podium the young man who has been so so diligent. He is David Bruin. He is the Student Association president, a member of the class of 2023, and he has been here all night supporting this event. And he's now going to come and share a few words about his experience at Syracuse University. David?
Thank you, Don. I am very honored to be tonight's student speaker, and am continually honored that I'm able to serve my peers as Student Association president, now for a second year. In my remarks last year, I observed that this is a great time for Syracuse University. We have great potential, and many opportunities lie before us. I marveled then how at no other point in history, from no other college or university in this country, have alumni simultaneously served as mayor, congressman, governor, and president of the United States. Which, yeah. I said that we are watching one of the greatest chapters in Syracuse University's history being written, and while I still believe that to be true, the past year has also shown me that it's also up to all of us to play a role in writing that chapter. For those of us who care about this university and want to see it even greater than we found it, then it is necessary we enter the arena and fight hard to make this place even better. On most days, being a student leader means being steeped in the minutia of daily college life, slowly working our way through the 4 years here. My Vice President, Adia Santos, and I have adopted a mantra which has guided our work as student leaders, pursuing legacy. It's not easy, not always front of mind, but whenever we get the chance, we remind ourselves and each other to think about what we can do to better the lives of future students and to leave a legacy behind. And so it is my sincere hope that this passion to make a great difference, the desire to take initiative on the things which have not yet started, to dream beyond where we've ever gone before, will be taken up by all of you today, and that this university will be even greater for your effort. It's always such a pleasure to be here with you tonight, and as always, go Orange. Thank you.
Thank you, David. And we came here earlier for mic check. I think this is our second year in a row doing this, and along with Ryan, had a chance to hang out for a couple of hours together. And it's always a pleasure spending time with you, David. And we're going to miss you, and I know you're going to leave the university in good stead. And it's clear that the university student body is in excellent hands under your leadership. As our evening concludes, I would like to invite members of the Mandarins back to the stage. Please stand if you're able as we sing the Syracuse University alma mater together.